Sunday service on a roll. Sunday service on a roll. Sunday service on a roll.
Give us your idea or your theory on this time thing, Kate.
Sure. So, and time's one of those things when you talk about it, everybody has, usually people have a very similar perspective of, past, present and future, which is, how we're kind of calculated, I guess, based on our human life. But as I'm talking about this, just so y'all have some reference, the primary place that I got a lot of this stuff is going to be out of a book by Daryl Anka, and his Blueprint for Change. Okay. And then he wrote another book called Quest for Truth. And he channels a being called Bashar, and Bashar is the one bringing this information. Now, whether it's a different aspect of himself, I don't know how the whole channeling thing works absolutely, right? But I know that a lot of the information I heard made sense to me, especially as it relates to time. I also got a lot of stuff out of Matrix 3 and 4 by Val Valerian, which you can find on leadingresearch.org. So I just wanted to state that. So you definitely go research it and, research your.
What was the name of the book again?
Which one?
The first one.
Blueprint for Change.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm. So both of those books are fire. They're fire. I love both of them. I loved his perspective. Just real, in my opinion, real good shit. So getting into this, so to establish that, time is an illusion, then we have to, easy way to look at the illusion is to first understand that past and present, or future and past, are illusions as well. So a simple way to look at it is say, okay, well, when is now? And now just past. So if you can't actually pin down now, that would mean that the future and the past have to be illusions as well. And what I mean there is that if you can't establish a present, you truly can't establish a future or a past. So then it just turns into a ever present now, meaning that it's all the same. And then when you look at your memories, for example, right? All of our memories are basically holograms. Our visions of the future are holograms as well. Yeah. So if there was a firm past, right, where it was absolute, then you could never have, three people who are at the same event and all of them are claiming something different happened. How is that? It means that the past and the future and the present, it's all highly mutable things. These things all exist in the ever present now. Okay. And so when looking at our lives, then looking at it more like a series of events, and these events are kind of like looking at it from a move, from if you're watching a movie film. So on a film projector, it has 24 frames per second, right? So each of those frames is when you look at those frames, when you put it on the reel, it looks like it's working consecutively. You can go back, forward, or past. However, if you take that film and you spread out on the floor, you can see it all happening at the same time.
Come on, man.
You could go from one point on the film and jump to the other. So it's an illusion that we think we have to go from one step to the next. It's only because our consciousness is connecting it in that manner, and we've been trained to believe and think in that manner. But actually, all of our lives, events, and everything that's going on is all happening simultaneously, right? And the way he talks about in the book, he's saying that there's a different version of you that's happening from moment to moment to moment. And only because of the way our consciousness is playing the reel, so to speak, do we think that everything is working in this linear fashion. But actually, he was like, there's a different version of you happening like in billionths of a second. So there's different versions of you constantly happening. And the more conscious you are, the more ability you have to see how much it is an illusion. And also, this speaks to the different versions of you, right? So if you were to take a film, as we just talked about, and let's say that you had, all these different scenarios of your life and all these different decisions you could have made from one particular event, which could create different versions of you, right? And if you're looking at, let's say, millions of different events and different things that could happen, it's all spread out on the floor. If you took that film and then you put it into a sphere, right? So now you have this sphere of all these different versions of you, all these different things that could happen, all going on simultaneously. And you place yourself right in the center of that. Okay. Now, at the center of it, you have the ability then to choose to be any number of different versions of yourself.
Okay.
Whatever you're attracted to, whatever frequency that you're vibrating on determines what version of yourself you're actually existing as, right? But there's a massive amount of different versions of yourself that are existing simultaneously at the same time. Now, I truly believe that that we come into this life with a particular intention, right? So we're here to, everybody has, I believe, something they came here to accomplish or do, right? Some things that they, a specific purpose, for lack of other words, right? So I believe that we all come with that. And when you are following, your spirit, so to speak, you're listening to your higher self, you're on that path, then those things that you're supposed to do seem to happen pretty easily, right? The people you're supposed to meet, it all seems to happen pretty easily.
Right.
Most of the challenges that we encounter is created by our physical minds and not our spiritual self, right? So from the programming we go through as babies and kids throws off a lot of the original, knowledge that we had when we came here. And those are a lot of the challenges that we end up facing as far as to become who we know we're really supposed to be, or, do the things that we feel we incarnated to do. But nonetheless, all of that is, and when I explain it, sometimes it's, I'm not sure if it's making sense because of how much the mind's been trained to think in a linear fashion.
No, I can hear it clear. I hear it clearly.
Okay,
Man.
cool. And so, knowing that you can be any version of yourself, then it's really just a matter of vibrating on the frequency of the real person that you want to be.
The body just dropped the download on y'all ass. God damn.
Facts.
Man, that's some shit right there, Kay. I can't wait to hear this shit back. That's some great stuff right there. That's magic. Damn. And nah, man, y'all like and share the video. That was powerful, Kay. I really appreciate that because as a spiritual being, I see things and I understand that within myself, everything starts within. So I always try to cultivate everything from within. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
so I work on my vibrations, I work on my emotions and all of that stuff. And then everything else starts to transpire for what I see or the visions that I have and blah, blah, blah. So,
Yeah.
you know, I thought that was powerful. I got this thing where I talk about the seconds is actually second to the first, which is your inner world, the first going within
Nice.
and trying to figure out that first aspect of you, that vibration, this frequency, this charge, this man, you got me hyped, Kay. That was crazy.
Listen, and might I add in too, shameless plug, because everything that you just said right now is exactly why I created the shirt. Feeling good is the work. Like,
Nice.
I wanted people to really understand that your vibration is literally everything.